became evident that I wasn't able to have intimacy. I wasn't able to be able to show Joan and to feel that sort of feeling. And I think out of a desire to have that and to share that, we began working on touch and rebuilding that part of our relationship.
I think the exercises are actually have been very critical, because I know at times in our relationship we've just looked at each other and said, where do we go from here? What are we supposed to be doing? Which direction are we even supposed to be going? And we needed something that was a little more set up, you know, a regimen.
And this gave us something to work together on. It was something tangible. We could see, okay, we're doing something. We're not just going to therapy and talking about it. We are doing something.
Sexual abuse causes serious problems with sexual relating for both survivors and their intimate partners. Many couples are choosing to address these concerns with a new series of healing techniques called Relearning Touch exercises. These exercises offer rich opportunities for you to experience intimate touch as safe and pleasurable. Hello and welcome. I'm Wendy Maltz, a sex therapist and marriage counselor. I specialize in helping couples create healthy sexual intimacy. This video has been designed to introduce you to a variety of Relearning Touch exercises. It is intended for use as an adjunct to couples therapy. Though the video focuses on healing from sexual abuse, the exercises are helpful for all couples who want to improve their intimate relating. The Relearning Touch exercises shown here are non-sexual. They can teach you how to develop self-awareness and communication skills necessary for enjoying sexual touch. These exercises are described in my book, The Sexual Healing Journey. You may want to refer to the book for information on how Relearning Touch fits into a broader program of healing from abuse. In this video, you will hear from several real couples who have used the Relearning Touch exercises in their healing. You'll meet Patty, who experienced 17 years of incest and her husband Pete, Gayleen, who survived child molestation and date rape, and her husband John, and Peter, a survivor of sibling incest, and his wife Joan, who also experienced incest in her childhood. You will, in addition, get a chance to see the techniques in action through simple demonstrations. Many couples have spent a long time suffering from sexual problems before they even learn about the Relearning Touch techniques. Unhappiness and stress may be high. Partners may feel confused about how to get things moving in a positive direction.
I knew what had taken place in her childhood, but I didn't know exactly how it was affecting her at the present. Her home life and my home life were different. Mine was one where touching and hugging was great. I mean, that was a way of life. I mean, that was good. I mean, it was a good, when you do something well, you got rewarded with, you know, touching or hugging, and so that's me. I really like touching and hugging. You know, I like those. I wasn't able to do that with Patty. It was, well, it's just tough. It's just like, just empty. It wasn't there.
Pete has talked a lot to me about the barriers he always has felt. And I think a lot of it wasn't even just an internal feeling. I think a lot of times I even put up barriers with my hands when he would get near with me. It would be so intense that I would have to get away from him and put barriers to stop him from touching me.
In the experience of our marriage, and I think it was part Peter and part me, in my experience, that anytime Peter would touch me, I felt that he wanted to have sex, and it didn't always feel like making love. it was like there was this imaginary line down the middle of our bed, and if my little toe got on the other side of it, then he would take that as a signal to jump on me. And so I became really aware of, don't let him think that you want to be sexual. I wanted to touch and cuddle. I needed that.
I felt very inferior in a lot of ways. Most people that knew me would look at me and say, he's the most self-assured guy that I know. But deep inside, it wasn't that way. I know now that I was still that small little boy that was hurt many years ago, trying to be loved, trying to be accepted, and yet the only ways that I found to do it were ways that were sort of crazy. And so that's what I would do, is I would rev up all these crazy ways to try to get love and what I thought was affection, but it wasn't true intimacy at all. It wasn't real affection. It was sort of strokes or ways to feel good for the moment, but it didn't have any lasting power, and it wasn't real closeness.
In the beginning, the physical relationship was just horrible for me, and it was very frustrating for John, but we didn't talk to each other about what we were feeling. Sex for me was extremely painful. I was so scared. I mean, just kind of goes back to maybe the first time, that I was abused. It's just that helpless feeling that it was just very painful. We got to a point where the sexuality was destroying our marriage. It was just, we'd have big arguments about it. He wanted to have sex more. I avoided it, but never coming right out and saying, this is how I feel. It was, just avoidance, rolling over, making myself unavailable. And for John, that was hurting his self-esteem greatly. And he was feeling rejected, like I didn't love him, and that wasn't the situation.
Even when our sexual relationship became tolerable for Gayleen, I know I always felt this real emotional detachment. That is, I didn't feel like we were having any kind of emotional connection, and it was something that I really desired to have in our relationship.
There are a lot of positive things you can do to improve the sexual and emotional aspects of your relationship. You can attend counseling sessions and support groups and read books about recovery. But when it comes to improving the physical aspects of your relationship, you'll need to develop an active, hands-on approach to healing. And that's what the Relearning Touch exercises offer. Crucial opportunities to increase basic skills that are important in healthy sexual relating. These skills include being able to breathe, relax, stay present, and communicate during touch. The Relearning Touch exercises may appear simple and easy at first. However, because of past hurts and present fears or embarrassments, you may encounter some resistance just getting started.
Speaking for myself, I think there was some resistance. Even though it's something I wanted, I think there was some resistance to change, resistance to something that was new, that might be scary.
I remember at first thinking, oh, Pete's not going to like this at all. I'm going, he's going to think this is really stupid. Because at first, I also thought, this is really going back to the basics, isn't it? And it was real hard for me to comprehend that that's where I needed to start, back at the very basics.
Relearning Touch is a relaxed way to learn the basics of healthy touch. You can proceed slowly, taking one step at a time. To begin, you'll need to first establish safety from negative sexual patterns and old pressures to engage in sex. Many couples find the best way to accomplish this is to take a vacation from sex. This period of abstinence can last months, ideally as long as it takes to develop new patterns of sexual relating. The active nature of the exercises enables you to make it a fun and growing time together.
It wasn't happening anyway, and we were both getting worried and feeling guilty and wasting a lot of emotional energy on it, so we just decided to take a vacation and not feel like we had to.
In fact, what's interesting about our sexual vacation was that we just decided, as Joan said, to say, let's just not, so that we don't have to be in the back of our mind worrying about what the other one's thinking and what they're wanting. And this way it's an understanding between the both of us that we're just not going to do that. And if I'm doing something that maybe before seemed like I was wanting to come on to you or come on to you, that she would know that I wasn't. That we had this understanding we weren't going to be having sexual relations. And I think it helped us to clarify that between us.
I remember reading about this sexual vacation in the book before we discussed having it, and I thought to myself, oh boy, that sounds like a big step. I don't know if I can handle that. But at a point in our relationship, I finally said to Gayleen, I think this is what we need to do.
There are many Relearning Touch exercises to choose from in creating a healing program for yourselves. The Relearning Touch exercises you will see demonstrated in this program include hand clapping, drawing on the body, magic pen, hand to heart, safe nest, safe embrace, and sensual massage. These exercises have been arranged in progressive order from playful to sensual activities. When you begin, start with exercises that feel the safest and least threatening to you. Choose a room or setting that is very different from where the abuse took place. Pick times when you have energy and can relax. It's best when you can set aside 30 minutes at least 3 times a week. Creating the time may require shifting priorities and making a strong commitment. When you're done with an exercise, spend a few minutes debriefing how it went. There are several understandings which need to be clear before you begin doing an exercise. Due to the effects of past abuse, the survivor needs to be the one to initiate and set the pace for each exercise. Partners should speak up when they are feeling uncomfortable. Even though the survivor leads the way, you both need a sense of control over what you're doing. Work together to find ways of proceeding that feel comfortable and safe for both of you.
I think what created safety was that it was talked about before we did it. It was saying, I said, can we do the exercise tonight together? And I knew that that was what was going to happen. And I knew that he understood that when I said, I have to stop, that was what I meant, and we could stop. Because I had never felt like I could ever say, I need to stop. I just left my body and wasn't there anymore with him when I couldn't take it anymore. But I knew when we were doing an exercise that it was understood that that's what we were doing, and we were more communicating what was going on, and he was also aware, and we were talking about what I was feeling. So that made it a lot safer.
We usually will just throw out, how do you feel about this exercise? And we both sort of get in touch with ourselves and figure out, is that okay for now? And in the sense that I can only imagine what it would be like to only have one survivor, that would be, I think, easier from the standpoint of there'd be some consistency as to what things are hard today would be hard tomorrow. But with two, there are two people that are at different places at different times, and we really need to try to stay in touch with each other and where we are. So we try to just make an attempt to communicate even a little more about what's safe, not only before we start, but as we're going along, what's safe and what isn't, and what is okay and what isn't.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we did, and what we liked and what we didn't like. And it's hard because we both need to be able to control the situation to some point. And so we have to sort of take turns saying, well, okay, you can do it this time and I'll do it the next time. Or I don't want to, or that doesn't feel comfortable to me. We really tried to verbalize things and get out of our heads and get it out, and that would help.
As you proceed with the exercises, Feel free to invent your own versions of them. Many couples begin with an exercise like hand clapping because it's a fun activity that encourages playful touch. To do the hand clapping exercise, sit facing each other so that you can comfortably press the palms of your hands together. The survivor makes up a hand clapping routine and teaches it to the partner. Simple routines work best. It helps to say the instructions for the movements as you do them. Practice the routine several times together, perhaps eventually singing a song to go with it. Try to run through your routine without making a mistake. When you do miss a clap, feel free to laugh.
We've had more fun. I mean, it's like the one time we can just really let down, and we sit on the floor and we try to get each other mixed up, you know. It's just, and you're face to face, you're looking at each other, and you almost, it really forced me to really look at him, because that's pretty much how, if you look in your eyes to eyes, that's how you keep it going. That was where I really found out that it could be fun to touch. It could be playful. It didn't have to be this serious, dreadful thing. It could be a real playful, fun time. And I think because of that, because of the hand clapping, it's like we've carried it over into having fun in a lot of other things. We do a whole lot more laughing together.
We had a really fun, laughing, singing, physical time together, and there was no regard to sex in any manner, shape, or form. And so it was just really easy and fun to do something together that was physical.
Drawing on the body is another playful exercise. In this one, you learn that touch can be a way to communicate positive ideas, literally letter by letter. The survivor sits facing the partner's back. Using your finger, write a message to your partner, one letter at a time. Large, firm block letters work best. If this position feels uncomfortable, feel free to draw your message on another part of the body, such as the palm of a hand. Sweep your hand across your partner's body to indicate when you've finished a word. The partner remains still and tries to guess each letter as it is written. You might want to have paper and pencil handy to jot down the message. When the survivor is finished, the partner says the message out loud to see if it is correct. Simple and positive messages work well, like, "I care about you." This exercise helps you both stay present. You need to pay attention to be able to write and receive a message. When you feel ready, switch places so that your partner can write a message on your back that you try to guess.
I care about you. That was kind of my favorite one, because I don't know, it just felt like I'm getting a massage with her finger, and I don't know, we did that a lot of different. We did that like in the living room. We even did that in the bedroom. We did that in the.
Did it standing in line in
Standing
restaurants.
in line in the restaurants. Yeah, we did that. Oh yeah, you wrote me "I'm hungry" too.
What?
I remember that one.
Galen was drawing these really little things on my back, little, and I'm going, Galen, you got to draw big things on my back, because I can't tell. That's too small for me to tell what it is.
It kind of reflects how we communicate with each other, because when I communicate, I tend to communicate very subtle terms for John to understand. He doesn't really pick up the things that I'm trying to say when he communicates. Well, when he wrote on my back, shoo, shoo, shoo.
Use the whole thing.
Big, hard strokes that would, very definite, very clear, and very direct.
Once a couple has made progress with playful touch, they're ready for exercises that focus on initiating and guiding physical contact. A popular exercise is called Magic Pen. It combines verbal instruction with creative movement. Find a comfortable way to sit facing each other. The survivor begins by holding a pen firmly in one hand. When you're ready, tell your partner to hold on to the other end of the pen. Give a clear message, such as, "Hold on now." The partner gently takes hold of the pen. The survivor then moves the pen in a free-flowing manner, leading the partner. Experiment with different movements. Pretend you're directing an orchestra or waving a sparkler on the 4th of July. Move in ways that your partner can comfortably follow. When finished, you must tell your partner to let go of the pen. Again, give a clear message to stop. Partners let go when they are told. An important aspect of this exercise is the practice of stating when you're ready to stop. Remember, the goal is being able to relax and stay present. At another time, the partner can take a turn being the one to design the movements. Because Magic Pen is based on a follow-the-leader type format, it is an exercise that may reveal some uncomfortable power dynamics in your relationship. Resolving these concerns can be crucial to your future progress in sexual healing.
It felt funny to say, okay, grab it now, and it felt mechanical, it felt artificial to do that, but yet as we did it more, I felt like that helped me, when I was the holder of the pen, to be in control and to lay the boundaries and limits as to when things started and didn't start.
The more we practiced it, the more comfortable I felt, and I knew it was so that it was good practice so that I would be able to tell Peter what I needed or what I liked and what I didn't like and when I wanted him to stop and feel okay about it.
I always feel like he's trying to take over, that he's overbearing. And so I remember when he grabbed the pen, it was like he just felt like it was his.
She had the pen in her hand, right? And she's holding it. She says, "Okay, I'm ready for you to hold it." And so I grabbed a hold of it, and she says, "You're holding it too tight."
And then, so he loosened it. I said, "Too tight," and loosened it. And it had to be just about, his hand just about limp before I said, "Okay."
When you get comfortable saying, what you're feeling and how you want it different with a pen, it makes it that much easier to do it in other aspects of your life, your physical, emotional, the whole thing. I mean, you're more comfortable in saying, what you're doing here, this isn't exactly what I like, and this is how I would like to see it be different.
Another step in sexual healing is for you to learn to associate touch with the exchange of loving and respectful feelings. Hand to heart is a gentle meditative exercise designed to teach this skill. Sit facing one another, close enough so that you can each rest your hand over your partner's heart. Make eye contact if you like. Breathe fully and slowly. Your touch should feel gentle, secure, and comfortable. Now think about why you respect and appreciate your partner. Focus on what you like and love about your partner. Remember past times together that were fun and pleasant. Imagine collecting these tender thoughts and memories and holding them in your heart. Next, imagine these loving thoughts moving from your heart to your shoulder, down your arm, out through your hand, and into your partner's heart, where they are met with your partner's feelings of appreciation, respect, and love for you. Together you can create a circular flow of loving feeling, from heart to hand and hand to heart. This exercise is designed as a silent sharing, but you should each feel free to talk if the need arises.
When we would do the hand to heart, it was like we would look face to face and talk. And I think that was a real major thing for me because I've had a real hard time. I've never looked people in the eyes. But when we talked and were like that face to face, it was real, I just felt like I really learned a lot in that it's okay. I mean, I can look at him and I can talk to him about feelings.
What was happening to her was she was getting more enjoyment from me touching her. Yeah, she was able to get closer to me than she had been before.
I think we looked into each other's eyes at first, and then did we shut our eyes?
Yeah, we tried
I
that
think we
both
shut our
ways.
eyes, and I felt like, oh, I don't know if I really, like the exercise says to send, loving thoughts and then receive them. And I thought, well, I'm not really getting into this, but I started to remember some of the loving times that we had together.
What I really liked about it was that while we were doing hand to heart, to be thinking in your mind the positive thoughts. Like, this is the man I love, this is who I care about, this is the father of my children, and I'm glad I'm here, and I like the way his arm feels, and I like the way his chest feels, and saying those types of things, consciously saying that, rather than I need to get milk tomorrow and I need to bake cookies for snack day or whatever.
Having my hand on her heart and her hand on my heart, it just seemed like there was a really nice, safe connection there.
In Hand to Heart, you can practice both sending and receiving loving feelings. Later, you might channel loving feelings into other parts of the body, eventually including genital areas. Remember, that's what healthy sexual intimacy is all about, expressing feelings of caring and respect through touch in a mutually enjoyable way. As survivors progress towards more serious, intimate touch with their partner, it's important for them to practice feeling safe and present with touch on their own. In the Safe Nest exercise, you create a safe place in which to begin exploring touch. First, locate a comfortable, private place where you can sit and rest. Arrange the setting and add what you need to make this place feel safe. Do you need to lock the door? Would you like an extra pillow? When you feel settled in your safe nest, focus on the present moment. Remind yourself of who you are now and how your life is different than it was in the past. Find thoughts that help you create a sense of calm and inner peace. Remember that you, in the present, are in charge of what happens. Then, when you feel ready, experiment briefly with touching your body in nurturing ways. Start with parts of your body that you feel safe touching. Expand to other parts later. Focus on the sensual pleasures that come from touching and being touched by yourself. Stop and rest when needed. Every person's safe nest is different. Honor what works for you.
We have some beanbag chairs, and so I took one for my head and one for my feet, and I just kind of jumped in it and got really comfortable. And I just laid in there, and it was just really relaxing.
This corner of the couch was my area, and nobody disturbed me, and I could go there and just, if I wanted to just hold a stuffed animal, if I wanted to just listen to some music, that's what I did. And I found that if I could get to my safe nest, I could sit there and I could concentrate on staying with myself and staying on the feelings I was feeling.
One of the hardest things that I'm still working on a day-to-day basis is feeling my feelings. It became easier way back when it happened to just have no feelings, because as a 5 or 6-year-old boy, I'm sure what happened to me was just too intolerable to feel. And I have to really search hard and try to stop and figure out what I'm feeling at a time. It doesn't just come natural like it does for most people.
In time, the survivor can invite the intimate partner to enter the safe nest and join in a safe embrace. Find a position that is comfortable for both of you. At first, focus on resting and relaxing together. You might hug gently or take turns resting your head on each other's chest, listening to heartbeats. Some couples use the hand-to-heart exercise to feel more connected. Calm yourself by breathing slowly. Occasionally, share your awarenesses of how you feel in the present moment.
I'd come home from work one day, and Gayleen had this all set up someplace, and she says, why don't you come here and lay down with me for a while? And so we did that. It was very comfortable.
What I found to be really safe and relaxing with John is just to lay on his chest and have your arm under my neck. And I can hear his heart beating, know that we're both alive and warm and comfortable. I think what's come about from this is that I really want to cuddle when I go to bed at night. I mean, I really want to just kind of get close up to him and touch him through the night.
We found that it was much easier if he was holding me than I was holding him, and I still don't know why. It was just more comfortable for me.
I just put my arms around her. And eventually it became, we look into each other's eyes.
And sometimes he'd say, who are you laying with? Who am I? And I'd say, your feet, you know. And he was like, he was starting to be able to know if I was drifting off.
In future variations of the safe embrace exercise, couples can begin more active touch exploration. Experiment to find ways that make touch feel nurturing, intimate, and safe. Communicate when you want to start and stop a touch activity. If you encounter moments of unwelcome sexual arousal or flashbacks to past abuse, you can stop, calm yourself, talk about your reaction, and make whatever changes are necessary to feel comfortable again. Since this exercise offers you an opportunity to slowly become more familiar with each other physically, you may want to concentrate on a particular part of your partner's body, such as your partner's hands.
First it felt like, this is really stupid, you know. I've held his hands for years, you know, but there's a difference between just holding hands than really feeling what it feels like.
Just touching the hands seemed like, gee, there's more than that, you know. But it took, I guess I had to learn a patient type of situation where I've never been before, and just say, okay, take your time, and we get to where we're going to go.
I haven't always been very kind or considerate in our relationship, and I know that in some ways Gayleen has me stuck over with the bad guy group in her mind, and I guess I deserve to be there. But I had those feelings when we were doing that exercise. I was thinking, well, she can see this as my hand and then might be saying, this is a hand I don't want to be messing with.
That wasn't true, though. When I looked at his hand, you know, I realized that I know his hands pretty well. You know, I could recognize the scars on his hands and what his fingers look like and the shape of his hand. And I thought, you know, this is a good hand. This is a gentle hand, a hand that I know really well, a hand, you know, of friendship.
To help smooth their progress, many couples repeat earlier exercises in new settings with new challenges. For example, a couple may want to practice hand clapping in a different room or in a different position, such as with the woman on top. Or drawing on the body might be done to a different part of the body, or while wearing less clothing. Variations on the magic pen exercise can help survivors learn they can still feel in control of touch and movement, even in a more private setting. As you work toward being able to touch in more sensual ways, remember that you have lots of options. You choose which exercises you do and how you do them. Relearning touch is a process of experimenting until you find the activities that work best for you. As comfort levels increase, you can begin to explore more sensual and passionate touching. The sensual massage exercise allows you to take turns touching and massaging each other. To begin, the partner lies down on his back or stomach. Let the survivor decide which position feels more relaxed. Begin touching your partner in areas that feel safest and most familiar. Expand to other areas of the body as you feel ready. Touch in ways that feel comfortable to you. Eventually, have your partner roll over and continue touching. Partners are to remain receptive and relaxed, but need to speak up if the massage is unpleasant. Partners should explain how they would like to be touched in a more comfortable way. As you touch your partner, focus on the sensations in your hands. Experiment with different types of touch. Be playful, nurturing, and passionate. Notice the different textures of your partner's skin. What places do you find most enjoyable to touch? Later, switch roles and let your partner give you the massage. Although this exercise is an important bridge to future sexual activity, in this stage it should not be confused with foreplay.
The idea of being able to touch and feel good about that and feel safe with that, it was something very different for me. And the awareness of my body as being something that Joan can touch and that it doesn't have to be sexual, and my awareness of when I am touching and my fingertips are feeling her body, that it doesn't have to have a sexual charge to it.
I can go to Peter and cuddle with him, and I feel safer that it's not going to become a sexual thing. And I also feel that I don't have to be responsible for what he feels, that he has to be responsible for what he feels and to take care of himself. And I feel comfortable that he will do that. So I can just be present for myself more to enjoy the experience.
Well, I think the touch process was important in that it taught us each that, especially her, she could say no, she could say now's the time to stop, and that's the part that we had to learn, that touching was okay.
I feel like I'm in my body for the first time in my life. I'm here, I'm present.
The skills that you develop in non-sexual touching will benefit you greatly when you resume sexual interaction. Relearning touch allows your intimate sexual contact to emerge as a natural extension of a caring, sensual relationship.
Before we have a sexual encounter, we usually start, by a nice long body massage, and it's really relaxing and soothing, and then it leads into massaging all parts of the body, and it's much more comfortable that way than just engaging in sexual activity without really leading up to it.
We finally got to where we did make love, and it was really wonderful. It was just how it should be, ideally, to me. And it felt really comfortable all the way through, and it was just really nice. It took a long time. It was really tender and loving and slow, and everything that was really nice, really wonderful, that we hadn't really experienced before.
We were talking a lot more ourselves to each other, communicating about how we felt. It made me feel safer hearing how she was feeling, letting her feel how I was feeling. It gave me more confidence and safety, so that I was able to be calm and feel what was there instead of just go through the motions.
We're now working on being totally sexual with each other. We took a long vacation. It's been very patient. But for the first time in my life, I'm desiring to be sexual with my husband. And it's a strange feeling. It's a wonderful feeling.
Healthy sexual intimacy is something everyone deserves and now can achieve. As this program has shown, these simple Relearning Touch exercises offer you an active process for improving communication, deepening your emotional intimacy, and increasing your enjoyment of physical pleasures. Working together using these new tools, you can turn the crisis in intimacy caused by sexual abuse into a rich opportunity for positive change.
Touch can be wonderful. You can have fun, you can enjoy it, it can be intimate, it can be tender, it can be caring. For me to think about being with him physically, totally sexual with him is just, it's exciting, it's scary, but that's the point I'm at now.
The idea of being able to communicate in the realm of your physical relationship has been a real asset for us. I think the ability to take it out of that serious place and bring it into a more playful setting has helped us a great deal.
And it's like it opens up a whole new room in the house, a whole new doorway to what I think can be a lot more enjoyment, and I've even seen that. But before we did these exercises, that door was just not even there. It wasn't that I didn't open it, I didn't even know it was there.
Most people think your partner's got to change. Well, that might be so, but you got to change too. I think you could be kind of this far apart, but you have to both get there. So this one has to maybe change here, and this one change here, and you get there. But how you do that is going to be your way.
I mean, this is just like the beginning. This is the idea, and these exercises get you started, and then it's like go from there and just let each other's spirit guide you as to what you want to do together.